And welcome back to Driver's Talk. Rick Titus, Jay Dalton, and the guy we report to, and that, of course, is Greg Stacy. The fact that you're here makes me a little nervous, Greg.
Am I too close?
You know, but what are you thinking about?
Well, as you know, Bring a Trailer, big fan of it.
Yep.
You know, it's Tinder for us gearheads.
That's
you can
right.
just browse.
Bring a Trailer is really the modern equivalent of thumbing through the classified ads.
And they do a great job of curating the cars. And
Yep.
they make sure they set, if the reserves are set, they're somewhat reasonable.
Yeah.
And the unique thing about Bring a Trailer, unlike eBay, is that the buyer has to pay the commission.
In its earliest days, Greg, it was pretty inexpensive half-built race cars or race car parts or a rolling Hulk, but that didn't last long.
So on this segment, what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at a few cars. You're going to let me know what you think it's going to sell for. You're going to let me know what you think it sells for.
Kind of a Price is Right, but boy.
It's a little Price is Right, and
Yeah.
it's a contest I like to call Hit the Gas or Sniffing Gas. So I think you'll know which one you want to be. So without further ado, we have a beautiful L28 powered 1973 Datsun 240Zs. Having owned about 5 of these
I
cars.
was going to say, this happens to be a brand of car you know a lot about.
Well, I actually did have an L28 powered one. But anyway, here's a nice example.
The appearance is really quite acceptable. Everything looks chromed, straightforward, nothing missing on the car.
California.
Aftermarket wheels, which appear to be kind of a mini light wheel with a very red interior. By very red, it's a two-tone red, magenta, and
With a pretty
popular
serious
red.
pink hue to it.
Careful if you've re-dyed the interior of these cars, it can shed.
One of the things I do like about Bring a Trailer is there are a lot of detail shots, Greg. They really do.
It's a great job.
You're not buying blind. I mean, you get a pretty good look.
Now, also on this car with the L28 block, that means it's got a 280Z motor in there, not the original 240. It's running downdrafts right here. The DGVs has a pretty popular upgrade in the 80s and 90s, and I had them on a couple of mine, and they're acceptable.
This is one man's interpretation of more of a maximum 240, if you think about it.
It's a bit of a Restomod, kind of, if you want
I
to
think
call
that's
it
a
that.
good way to classify it.
It's a Restomod, yeah.
What intrigues us is the underside of this car. You could eat off the underside of this car. Does that ever give you pause when you see a car very, very clean underneath?
You know, you're grateful one second and immediately suspicious the next.
Yeah, yeah.
I noticed the neoprene bushings right away. That's a good news, bad news situation. If you're going to do hard cornering, it's a good way to go.
Why is that oil pan coated? I'm not sure. Is that a sound suppression thing or what? It couldn't have been like that from the factory, right?
No,
right?
No, I don't
not
think
at
so.
all.
Now, would you buy a Restomod like this for any collector value, or is this really just an ultimate street fun car to drive?
To me, it's a driver.
Current high bid is $16,000. Okay, Rick, is it going to go higher than 16? Is it going to meet his reserve? You know that there's more than 16 in this car.
Oh, I'm sorry. This guy's going to lose a lot of money because he obviously spent a lot of money. But the truth is, I think you should take the 16 large and run.
Well, for this contest to work, you got to tell me a bid number. You have to tell me a bid number.
I would say that the highest bid is going to be 16.5 and for a no sale.
I'm going to go 17 for a no sale.
Okay.
Some
Hey,
fool's just going to have the thing
well,
and
the
pay foolish
thing
money.
is, we may be the fools in this because that may still have enough collectability and enough demand from somebody who's into the Japanese product to run with that, because that car's really well done for what it is.
Did you see the interior?
Other than the color of the interior, if I had that kind of money laying around and I wanted another Z, I think anything under 20 is not that bad of a buy.
You seem to appreciate it more than we did, I have to say. We find out, what, in 1 week who won it?
1 week.
All right. Judge, jury, and the hangman.
Stick around. We have Molly at the Long Beach Grand Prix.